Anytime you have a new culture, a new energy comes along with that. And you could just walk around the building and feel that energy. In the off season, I felt that energy. With myself, with my teammates, you could just see everybody is, rejuvenated again. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to do what's right to make this team and help this team be successful. So, at the end of the day, I believe that we would be there at the end. We got a long way to go. We got a lot of work to do, but if we all in it together, I believe we would be there.
Steve Popper, Bergen Record. Mel, I know you guys have been working out as a group, but have you had much interaction with Derek and Phil and kind of learning what the role will be in this triangle and have you kind of gotten a glimpse of what the system will be?
I got a good glimpse of what the system would be. And it's fun. I mean, from what I've been able to, see and sit back and learn and watch, from Coach Fish and the other guys on the coaching staff, I've been here 3 weeks early in the gym working with the guys and talking to the guys, asking questions, and not just going out there thinking that I know it all, and being receptive to, the information that I wanted to receive and the questions, the answers that I was looking for, and it's been great for me. I know it's not going to happen overnight, but for me, my main thing is just to embrace it, the new situation, the new regime, the new system. And then along the way, we're going to have some fun. It's going to be some bumps and bruises, but at the end of the day, we're going to have some fun with doing it.
Hi, Carmelo. Howard Mandel from Capital New York. Curious, in terms of a couple of things, you talked about process, and Phil's talked about it as well, about it not being overnight. How that relates to things like your minutes usage. There's a lot of talk the last couple of years about making sure you got more rest, and it didn't really happen, and Coach Woodson played you the most of anyone in the NBA the last couple of years. But also in terms of the way you approach the game full out, and combining that with thinking about this as a multi-year process, and you here now for many years to come.
Yeah, my approach to the game doesn't change. I'm gonna still go out there and do what I have to do. I'm gonna still work hard. If Coach Fish need me to go out there and play 48 minutes, I'll go out there and play 48 minutes. But that's just me from a personal standpoint. Do I think I'll be playing 40+ minutes a night? I don't think that. I think we've learned from that, from the past experiences. But at the end of the day, me personally, my mindset doesn't change. Whatever they need me to do, I'm gonna go out there and try to do it. I'm gonna try to accomplish that, and I'll deal with the effects of that later.
Hey, Carmelo, Brian Mahoney, Associated Press. Beyond the mentality of the team, now looking at the personnel, you traded 2 starters with Tyson and Raymond. How do you look at this team, the players that are here, versus last year?
Well, it's a different makeup of the team. Although we did, get rid of Tyson and Raymond, we did bring back, some guys that I think would fit in, extremely well with what we're trying to do and what, Phil and what D. Fish is trying to do. Calderon, his numbers speak for himself. I mean, the way he's able to run the team, the way he's able to, shoot the basketball lights out, his assist-to-turnover ratio is like no other. And then Samuel Dallenberg. I mean, from what he's able to do, as a big man, rebound, block shots, kind of control the paint. We just got to bring all of that together into one. And if we all on the same page and we have the same mindset and we have the same goals, then I think this journey starting today would be fun.
Mark Berman, New York Post. Not that you meant it to happen the way it happened last year, but do you think your free agency became a little bit of a distraction for you because of the uncertainty? And also your weight loss, how do you think it's going to make you a better player this year?
I don't think me, and I don't want to sit and talk about me, but last year, I don't think I had any distractions on the basketball court. I thought I, did a great job of just going out there. Just when it was my time to focus on basketball, it was my time to focus on basketball. I kind of put everything to the side. I think as a team success, it overshadowed what I was able to go through and kind of block all of that stuff out from a mental standpoint. My weight loss is something that I was just doing my job. It was just something. It's my job. I put in the time. I put in the work. I took only maybe a week or 2 weeks off, so it wasn't anything that I've changed up, dramatically. It was something that's just been an ongoing process from last off season and putting in the work last off season, going through this season, only taking a week, 2 weeks off, and still, putting in the work that I need to put in. So, of course, I've changed some things up. Diet here, diet there. Different training, techniques. But overall, it wasn't anything that, I really focused in on. I just kept on working. I kept on going, and this is the result that you're seeing. I think more for me is mentally for me. As far as my physical makeup, I feel awesome. I feel great. I haven't felt like this from a physical standpoint in a long time. But more than anything, it's a mental aspect that where I'm gonna be better at. I'm at a good place right now. I have a lot of clarity. I have a lot of understanding. So I'm just ready to apply that, to the basketball court.
Hey, Carmelo, welcome back. Right in the middle. Chris Herring from the Wall Street Journal. Good to see you. A couple of things that I wanted to ask you. One, about the weight loss. You've played so much more at the 4 the last couple seasons, whether it was because of scheme and the fact that it seemed to work pretty well, or just because of the injuries and stuff like that. Do you feel like the weight loss will be conducive to that, or maybe to playing more small forward to be quicker on your feet?
As far as the weight loss goes and playing the 4, the 3, my mentality and my physical makeup is there. That none of that has changed. The only thing I've changed is, maybe stripping some body fat. But as far as the way I play, I don't think, my weight and, my makeup that's gonna change.
And with regards to the triangle, you were saying you see it as fun. Phil has said that he wants to get you better shots, but also for you to be able to create better shots for teammates and for you to move the ball better.
Yeah.
Do you see that as something that's going to change? The difference between you and Michael and Kobe is that Phil worked with them way earlier in their careers before they developed certain habits. How do you see your game changing, if at all, within a triangle this late in your career?
I think this new situation, the new system, I think it's going to enhance my game. It's going to enhance my teammates' game, and as a whole, we're going to be successful. My big thing is, I want to embrace what Phil and what Derek is doing. I want them to know that I'm in. I'm embracing this challenge. I know from being a student of the game and watching and knowing the history that it will work. It takes time. Nothing happens overnight, but it will work. And as long as I'm patient with that, then everything else is irrelevant.
Carmelo, Fred Kerber from the Post. JR over the summer said some things like, one, he wants to be more of a leader, and last year he started off after the knee surgery and all. Just where do you see him 1 year, from last year, and how important is he going to be to what you guys are going to be doing this year?
Well, that's a good that's a good mindset to have. That's a good step to take. For JR to come out and say he wants to be more of a leader. In certain cases, everybody leads in their own way. I don't think myself. I'm not a vocal guy, but I try to lead by example. And JR, I don't see him as being more of a vocal guy. He talks in, behind closed doors more than he do out there on the basketball court. But for the most part, I love to hear that, he's ready to take on that challenge and become more of a leader on this team. Because at the end of the day, that's what we look forward to from him. He is a leader. We look at JR as being a leader. So now you got to just put everything together and go out there and lead in his own different way.
Carmelo, Mark Berman, New York Post. What did you think of LeBron's decision to leave Miami? What do you think about the Cleveland Cavaliers and how good they could be? And Phil mentioned he thinks the East is more balanced, 45 wins could be the 8th seed. What do you think of that notion?
I got to answer all 3 questions? What LeBron did, whatever went into his decision making of going back to Cleveland. I applaud him. What he was able to do in Miami was special over the past couple years. And as far as Cleveland goes, I mean, everybody's on to have a clean plate right now. We all 0-0, man. Everybody starts today. A couple teams started a couple days ago, but we all have the same opportunity. We all have the same chance to put in the work and see what happens. As far as field goes, as far as putting a number on games that wins this season, I can't tell you how many wins we're gonna have. I mean, we haven't even opened our first practice yet. But what I will tell you is we will have a better season than what we had last year. As far as numbers goes, I can't put anything on the numbers, but I can tell you for sure that we will have a much better season than we had last year.
Steve Popper, again, Bergen Record. When you went through the free agency, we talked about LeBron entering this part of your career, this time, signing this long contract. How much did that weigh in the chance that, like you talk about patience, that maybe there's a year or two you're giving up here, and you had chances to go to a team that maybe was ready to win now? How hard was that to make that decision and think about that?
It was hard. I mean, to be honest with you, it was hard. I mean, as you may know, you guys was the one that was writing about it and talking about it, because it's the basis. So for me to go through that and to know where I could have been or what could have happened, what should have, could have happened. I made the commitment to stay here in New York. I made a commitment to the Knicks organization. I made a commitment to Derek Fisher and Phil Jackson, and also made a commitment to my teammates. So that right there just goes to show you that it wasn't all about, just running and jumping ship and trying to get something, in the immediate future. I'm willing to be patient. Now, how long I'm willing to be patient, I can't really tell you that, but I'm willing to be patient. I'm willing to take risk. I'm willing to take that chance. And, for me to just get up and leave like that, now that I look back at it and, leading up to my decision, I wouldn't have felt right, within myself. From a basketball standpoint, it probably would have been, maybe the greatest thing to do, but for me personally, I wouldn't have felt right with myself, knowing that I wanted to come here. I kind of forced my way here to New York, and I have some unfinished business to take care of, so I wouldn't have felt right from a personal standpoint, just getting up and leaving like that.
Carmelo, John Schumann, NBA.com. Defensively last year, you guys weren't very cohesive, so there's obviously room to improve in that regard, but you lost Tyson, who was sort of the anchor defensive player of the year a couple of years ago. How good can you be defensively with this team and the personnel that it has?
Well, we want to be good, man. We Derek Fisher is preaching that. We all preaching that. I mean, that's the first thing that he's preaching. I know everybody is talking about the new system and the triangle and Phil Jackson, but the challenge for us is how good we want to be on the defensive end. Last season being 24 out of 30 from a defensive standpoint, the defensive ranking. I mean, that's just not acceptable. It's not acceptable, and we will improve on that because we will focus on that, and we would challenge ourselves to be better, and the coaching staff would challenge ourselves to be better. So it's going to take a collective effort. Although we lost Tyson, we all know he was a great defensive player, great defensive shot blocker, defensive player of the year. But we got to do it as a collective now. We got to do it as a group, and we got to trust and we got to believe in one another. And that's something that we got to distill today when we get out there to West Point.
Hey, Carmelo, Jared Zwerling, Bleacher Report. How are you? Good to see you back. I know you're very close with Kobe and MJ. They ran the triangle in LA and Chicago. Have you had a chance to talk to them at all about the triangle and maybe any observations or takeaways from watching film of those two guys through their days running the triangle?
I've talked to MJ. I've talked to Kobe. And I've also talked to guys like Scotty. I mean, other guys who was in the triangle. And the information that I've got back from them guys, like I'm just taking that and distilling that into a bottle and applying that to my everyday life, my everyday game. And that's why I saw some of you guys this offseason and told you that I'm excited about being in the triangle. I'm excited about coming back to the Knicks. I'm excited about the opportunity that we have as a team. You know, being with this new system, being with this new culture. So I mean, overall, I'm excited, man. I feel happy again. I feel at ease. I feel, you know, like I said, I have a lot of clarity, and I'm in a good place, and I can't wait to get it going.
Justin Rodriguez, Times Herald Record, back here. I just wanted to get your impressions about the team's first pick this year, Clay Anthony early, just what type of impact he might have, and if you'll mentor him in any way.
I'm very excited to see Clay Anthony on the court. You know, he was in my eyes, he was a steal in this year's draft. A lot of teams passed up on him for whatever reason, and we was able to, you know, draft him. So I look at him as a steal. As far as what he's capable of doing and how he's going to help this team, we don't know right now. I mean, we haven't even stepped foot on the court. All of this is just observations and opinions and things like that. So I'm going to work with him. I've been working with him this off season. I've been with all the young guys this off season, up here playing, up here competing with them, up here working, whether it's in the triangle, whether it's in the weight room, whether it's just us hanging out, getting a chance to know each other. So I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody is going to bring to this.
All right, Carmelo, thanks very much.